Okay, we're gonna spatchcock chicken here. A few things we need first. One is a drink, a nice sharp knife, and a chicken. Now, this first step here is optional, but I like to do it. It's called Frenching the wings. So what we do is we score the drumstick right below the knuckle and then pop the wing off here. Now, we do this because we're butterflying the chicken. And if we leave that on while the chicken is cooking, this whole part here is gonna be overcooked. So we'll pop that, we'll set that aside for later here. We'll do the same thing over here. Cut right into that, score the skin right down to the bone, and then pop it the opposite way where the joint is. Pop right off, nice and easy. All right. Now this next part here is a little tricky, but it's not that bad. So we can see here, there's this little seam where the chicken thigh meets the bone. Like this is meat and this is bone right here. And we want to cut along that on either side and remove this backbone. So that's what we're gonna do. Cut right in. Staying nice and superficial here. We're going to go down until we find the knuckle, the joint where the thigh bone meets the back, which is right there. See that right in there. We're just going to go ahead and cut into that and sort of scoop it out, and following our knife along the bone, we scoop down right down here. And there, see, there's a nice little pocket here where that thigh was sitting against the backbone. And now we're just going to cut up a little bit, separate that, and there you are. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Cut down until we find that knuckle, which is right there. And the knuckle, like you'll hit bone a few times. Just kind of work your knife in and around until you find the joint. And once you find it, you'll know, because it'll just cut right through it like it's nothing. See, we just cut right through it right there. It's nothing. And we're gonna scoop in a little bit more. This is what's called the oyster right here. This like little pocket of meat here. That's what's called the oyster. Don't ask me why. I don't know. Now we'll cut down there. Expose that, and it's pretty easy to do, to separate, because you'll know if you're cutting too far this way, but you'll definitely know if you're cutting too far that way, because that's all bone. So separate that, come up a little bit here, bam. Now cut that right there. Now this part, all we're gonna do, these are the ribs right up in here. We're going to cut right through those. So there's some meat right there. We're just going to separate that a little bit. Now we've got these here ribs. We're just going to cut straight down either side. Now this next part is tricky because you can't really see what you're doing. You're just kind of winging it. We're going to scoop right in. There's a little joint right up in here where the wishbone is. It connects to the back to the rest of the chicken. And work your way in, find that joint just like before with the thigh, cut right through. And if you're too lazy to do that, or you don't want to, you can bypass that and just put your knife straight down here, give it a good chop, and you'll cut right through that. But I like to be gentle with my knives, so if you can find the cartilage, it's a lot easier to cut through than bone. There we go. Now we've got all this lovely stuff here, the neck and excess skin. We'll just cut that right off, set that aside, and bam, that's it. One last step here. that just makes it a little bit easier for cooking, is we're gonna split the breastplate, which is right here. Cut right in. And a little split, let's press it down. I'll flatten it. And flip it over. And there you go. Spatchcock chicken. Now what I like to do with the wings from the beginning is freeze them. And every chicken I break down, I pop the wings off and freeze them. And after, 10 chickens, you've got yourselves 20 chicken wings. And you can have a nice chicken wing party. And I'll freeze the back here too. And after so many chickens you break down, we'll make chicken stock with it. And that's it. Done. Easy. Easy.